This Monday's Musical Monday is going to be a little bit different today. We wanted to really spend some time honoring just a great lady that's meant a lot to us personally, who's meant a lot to the music ministry here at Summerville Baptist, and has meant a lot, I know, to you that are watching, because I know who's typically watching, and I know that you've enjoyed Mary Kunsman. She's been an inspiration, I think, to all of us, and lived a life that's really worthy of a godly woman who is serving the Lord. Her impact has been far-reaching all around our community as she's sung in the hospitals and done so much ministry there just to encourage patients that were there. And so today, Brady and I came up with an idea, a way that we can kind of pay tribute to her, and we couldn't think of a better way than to maybe let Mary tell her own story in her own words. And we had a recording from several months ago that she made, and we're going to play that.
One of the cool things about her being a frequent guest on Musical Monday is we have this catalog of songs and stories that we can always look back to. So we looked through them, and today we're going to share the one she did for Mother's Day of this year. And she has a lot of stories and a lot of advice for kids on how to treat their parents and things like that. And we just thought it would be applicable with her being such a matriarch of her family. So we hope you enjoy, and we'll see you at the end of the video today. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Musical Monday. Eddie and I are going to take a break today. Eddie's actually in the room right here, but we're going to let a special lady take over today. This is Miss Mary Kunsman. Kunsman. She's cool with either one. She's 94 years young, and she's got a lot of experience, a lot of stories, a lot of songs. She's no newbie to Musical Monday, so we're going to kick it off with a duet together, I think, right?
Yes, indeed.
All right, I'm going to pass it to you.
Well, here we are once again on Musical Mondays. I'm so glad to be with you. And I have asked Braden to play some with me today. Just back up a little bit. I'm really called an a cappella singer because I sang a lot in the hospitals. But we're going to do one today for you. And it's Surely the Presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can feel the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. In the midst of His children, the Lord said He would be. It doesn't take very many. It can be just 2 or 3, and the glory of His promise. Feel the same sweet spirit. I know without a doubt I've been with the Lord. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. There's a holy hush around us as God's glory fills this place. I've touched the hem of His garment, and I can almost see His face. And my heart is overflowing with the fullness of His joy. I know without a doubt that I've been with the Lord. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Yes, Braden, I have been around here since 2003. I moved in November of 2003, came to visit this church, Summerville Baptist in Summerville. And the next month, I came back again and visited by myself that time, and I said, this is the church, this is the choir I want to be in. This is where I'm going to settle down. I'm here to stay, folks. And I was here. I was living here 18 years. I've been in Columbia, Ridgeway, with my daughter Grace since the pandemic came along and hit us and knocked us out of doing, and they didn't want me to drive. At 92, that made me stop driving. No accidents. They just thought that's a good time to stop driving. Don't drive anymore, Mom. So, yes, they get a little bossy, you know. You can't tell your children what to do much anymore. I tell them to wear comfortable shoes. They come out in those little flat top thongs and all that sort of thing. And you're going to pay for that as you get a little older. Your feet are going to say, "Oh, why did she do that to me?" Yeah, we try. We do try. Don't, all you mommies, you know what I'm talking about.
Well, Miss Mary, I've played music my whole life. I've never been more nervous playing a song than I was right there because I don't want to mess up for you.
Oh, goodness. My eyes
I'm gonna
play
go take a
tricks
break.
on me. Sometimes I change a word here and there, and sometimes when you're singing one but from memory.
We're going to let her take it from here, folks.
Thank you, Braden. And so, and I can't read those little notes in the music anymore, but if the notes, the words are big enough, and he copied this so they'd be nice and big for me to read. Well, is everybody happy today? I want to be happy, but I can't be happy till I make you happy too. Life's really worth living when we are mirth-giving. Why can't I give some to you? When skies are gray and you say you are blue, I'll send the sun shining through. I want to be happy, but I can't be happy till I make you happy too. Well, I hope you're having a happy day. Yesterday was a wonderful Mother's Day for us, and I was so happy to be here with all these friends and meeting them in the hallway, and that came through the church, and everybody wanted to shake my hand. And, excuse me, just a second. Yeah, that whistle runs dry. I have to wet my whistle now and then. But I've been working on this for quite a while here since he asked me to take over for Mother's Day. And so now, I've been here so many times, you new people are getting to know me.
That's right.
And I'm trying to get to know you. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you. Getting to like you, getting to hope you like me. Getting to know you, putting it my way, but nicely. You are precisely my cup of tea. Ooh, ooh. Getting to know you, getting to feel free and easy. When I am with you, getting to know what to say. Haven't you noticed? Suddenly I'm bright and breezy because of all the beautiful and new things I'm learning about you day by day. And you know what movie that is from, I hope? Maybe you don't know. The King and I. I was in a little theater rendition of The King and I when I lived in Sumter, South Carolina. And I was one of the many mothers. I didn't have a solo line there. I was just one of the many mothers. I happened to be the mother of the twins. If you've seen The King and I, you remember she's always pointed out is the mother of two. Well, I actually came to be the mother of 8, 7 daughters and a twin brother to the last girl. But I enjoyed musical movies especially. And let's see what else I have for you today here. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of a storm is a golden sky, and the sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on, with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone. And that one is from Carousel. And I did have a part in that one that I did sing a solo line, solo songs, and we had to learn a lot of other songs in the show. Everybody had to do a lot of singing. But I was blessed. Sometimes they sing that at a graduation, whether it's high school or college or wherever, and they're giving the students there the courage to take that road of life walk now. You've learned all these things coming up in school. You've got to apply the things you learned in school and follow your path and be bold. Hold your head up. Do the best you can with it. So Let me see what else I wanted to do for you today. I've got a little nice variety here for you. Do you know how Ireland got its name, Braden?
I do not. What does Ireland mean?
Ireland.
What?
How do they name it?
Does that mean something?
Well, the Irish, when they say sure a lot, and when they say words with an R in it, they roll the tongue. Something like this. Sure, a little bit of heaven fell from out the sky one day and nestled on the ocean in a spot so far away. And when the angels found it, sure it looked so sweet and fair, they said, suppose we leave it, for it looks so peaceful there. Then they sprinkled it with stardust just to make the shamrocks grow. 'Tis the only place you'll find them, no matter where you go. Then they dotted it with silver to make its lake so grand. And when they had it finished, sure they called it Ireland. That's what they say. That's how it got its name. They just thought it looked so peaceful there. Well, the people from Ireland, that's their mother country. And we have America is our mother country. And you always love your mother country, very much like you loved your mother. Do you remember the mother song we used to sing? M is for the million things she gave me. O means only that she's growing old. T is for the tears she shed to save me. H is for her heart of purest gold. E is for her eyes with love lights shining. R means right, then right she'll always be. Put them all together, they spell mother, the word that means the world to me. My mother did mean much to me, and my father. In about 3 weeks, we'll have Father's Day. So we have to give the fathers a little recognition today because their day is coming. We know that. And so that's just one that I remember singing as a child. And my mother wanted me to be in music. When I was 11, she went to our organist and said, this church needs a children's choir. And he said, well, let me see what my wife says. Now, she was a voice teacher at Columbia College. It's all female those days. And she said, well, yes, she would do it, but she didn't want to have Christmas parties for them and Easter egg hunts if the mothers would be choir mothers and help them do those sort of things and be there when they would go sing. We had a little short cotta, came just a little bit below the waist, and there's like full sleeves and all. We didn't look like angels, but it was a nice little cotta. And then we had a great big black bow that had to tie for us. And she wanted the mothers to get all that readiness done. So my mother was a choir mother. And because she had instigated the First Presbyterian Church in Columbia. We lived right across the street from there. My father sang in that choir about 45 years. And after church, I'd go up and watch the organist finishing the service as everybody was leaving. I loved to watch him play the organ there. And then I'd go and meet my daddy in the choir room when he was finished taking off his robe, and we'd walk home. Like I say, it was only across the street, but I wanted to walk with my daddy because he meant a lot to me, too. He influenced me so much in music. And he sang in the Columbia Choral Society, which was a big elite musical club in Columbia. And you had to audition to be in this big choral society. We'd have a big concert every spring. And then when I graduated from high school, my daddy says, well, now you can join the choral society. I used to go to the rehearsals with him. My mother sang in the chorus. That she did not have time to sing in the church choir, but she did sing in the choral society many years too. And when I would go to rehearsals sometimes, just sometimes I didn't have to, but there's always somebody around our house. But Daddy would bring me a copy of the Messiah or the Magnificat or whatever they were learning for their spring concert, and they didn't do other appearances. Very few outside appearances from the spring concerts of the Columbia Music Festival, it's called. And so my life has just been filled with music all the way. Somebody asked me, when did you realize you could sing? I said, well, anybody can sing. I said, you don't have to be special. You just have to work on it. And if you can stay on tune, that's good. I said volunteer choirs have sopranos, altos, tenors, basses, and also singers. Those also sing a little bit of everything. someone might sing a tenor low, might sing an alto higher or something, whatever they can do, but because they may not really know exactly what notes they're singing. I wanted my children to know music, so I taught each of them to play the piano, at least about 3 years. We bought a piano in the spring, and my oldest daughter wanted to play yesterday. Teachers would not start in April. She said, I'll take her in September. She wanted to play like yesterday, so I went and got a music book for her. It was adults, teach yourself to play the piano. And man, she just took to that piano like a duck takes to water. Her younger sister next to her, a year and a half later, she started practicing on the piano. And I gave up all lessons somewhat. I didn't have time to sit beside them and watch them all the time. But I could hear them. I might be in the basement ironing. So we used to iron a lot. Didn't have polyester those days. And I'd hear one up there practicing. Hear a mistake. I take the broom and hit the ceiling. And we had a stairway that went right up toward where the piano was. I said, back up 2 measures, you made a mistake. So she'd back up and she'd do it again. She made broom work again. Back up 2 more measures and do it again. And I might not know exactly what notes they had to play, but if it was out of tune, I knew they were on the wrong spot, so I could hear that, teach that well. But I did, some of them did do, Grace plays very well, and Linda graduated, that oldest daughter graduated a piano major from Carolina, East Carolina, I think it was those days. But she used her music, but not nearly as much as Grace has used her piano. I live with Grace now at her bread and breakfast in Ridgeway, not Ridgeville, Ridgeway. It's right above Columbia, and she has a B&B. Do you know what a B&B is? Well, no, my mother ran a tourist home. A tourist home is a B&B, but you don't get breakfast. You get a room and no breakfast. And the next morning you get up and get dressed and you go out and find some place to eat and then get back on the road. So that's what she did as running a tourist home for some years. But and my mother could play the piano hymns. She could just sit. My father would go to the Men's Evangelistic Club, and now and then he would be assigned to go to a nursing home. They called it old folks' home until they got up in years themselves. Then convalescent home we're going to go, and she would play the piano. She had to have a hymnal. She could play hymns fine with a book, and then my father would lead the singing. One of the other men would go along, and he'd give them a little sermon and everything, talk to them a while, a few prayers. So it was just a nice thing for them to do, but I think I was so blessed with so many things they did for me. And this is supposed to be a little bit about mothers. Well, I have, of my 8 children, 2 of them did not marry, but of the other 6, I have 18 grandchildren. And from those 18 grandchildren, I now have 31 great-grands. One year I told the family, I said, the older children call me grandmother, and I can't ask them to change that name. I said, I think the nickname Mimi is so cute. I think they should call me Mimi, and then the son-in-law can call me Mimi instead of Mary or Mrs. Kunsman. And so I just went by Mimi until my daughter started having their grandchildren, and then she told them to call them Mimi. So I said, well, I guess that makes me Grand Mimi. And now with all these great-grands, now I'm Great-Grand Mimi. And you just never know how that name is going to go along, and I always enjoyed our family get-togethers. And I've tried to be the best mother that I knew how to be, and tried to influence them just as my parents did me. Nothing too fancy, just simple gifts. 'Tis a gift to be simple, it is a gift to be free, it is a gift to turn round where you ought to be, and when you find yourself in a place that's right, your turning will come round right. When true simplicity is found, there's a little line I've forgotten. One of those little things that hide from you. You shan't be ashamed. Turn will be our delight. For in turning you come round right. So I just think it's just, as I said, it doesn't have to be a big bunch of people, just 2 or 3. And when we were at one of my great-grandchildren's, just a few weeks ago, we had it at their new house, which is near Two Knots Road in Columbia. And we went over for a little family get-together. And little William, I was in the dining room, everybody's sort of going outside to play and upstairs all around. They scatter sometimes when they're together. And so then I said, William, come sing me a song. He said, I can't sing. I said, oh, William, anybody can sing. No, I can't sing, and I forget the words, and I can't sing. I said, well, I've got one for you to learn, and it's so easy, we're going to learn it right now. It goes like this. Sing a song, sing out loud, sing out strong. Sing of good things, not bad. Sing of happy, not sad. Sing a song. Make it simple to last your whole life long. Don't worry that it's not good enough for anyone else to hear. Just sing a song. And I said, now you see how easy that was? Work with me, William. Okay, I'll get us started, and you jump in on the most important word. You do say sing a song 3 times, so you know those lines already. So it goes like this. Sing a, and then he said, song. I said, sing out loud, sing out strong. Sing of good things, not bad. Lots of facial movements to see for him to read my lips and know what was going on. Sing of happy, not sad. Sing a song. Make it simple to last your whole life long. Don't worry if it's not good enough for anyone else to hear. Just sing a song. Have you got it, William? He said, I think so. The next day, we had a big get-together at my daughter, Grace. Her husband was retiring after working at the hospital many years. And I had written a poem. Grace, I write a lot of poetry for people. And Grace, about 2 years ago, she asked me to write a poem for Bob's retirement. She said, and I'll put it aside and keep it. And if for any reason you're not here to read it for them, I'll read it for you. Well, sure enough, I was right there with them, and she asked me to read the poem, and I did. And then I said, and yesterday I taught my great-grandson a song. Come on up here, William. I thought he'd hide behind the chair or something. Some children won't come. He came right forward to me, and we sang it. And I leave out that important word at the end of the line, and he put it right in. So with a lot of facial movements and hand movements and things, we got it done and had a good time. He's a sweet little boy. So people can sing if they try. You know, I want to show you this special hanky. Can you see that hanky? It says Mary, 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 all the way around. My mommy got this for me. I love this little hanky she got for me. Mary Jane doesn't have one like this.
Mary, if you hold it up, we can get a shot on it. Will you hold it up and Josh will get the camera on it?
You won't be able to read it, Mary, 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 because I'm saying it's there. I did have about 3 different colors that did say Mary all around, and I've lost them over the years somehow. It's pretty. Isn't it pretty? Mm-hmm. You know it's pretty. Mary Jane doesn't have one like that. Mary Jane told me this morning something that made me afraid. She said I'd have to marry a man, or I'd be called an old maid. I'm so worried I don't know what to do. 'Cause I've a secret, I'll tell it to you. Nobody loves me but my daddy, and he's already married, can't you see? Oh, if Mother hadn't married Daddy, Daddy might have married me. Often he calls me his sweetheart. He loves me such a lot. If Mother hadn't snapped him up, I might have won him. Why not? She might have married someone else, 'cause everybody loves her. But as for myself, nobody loves me but my daddy. He's already married, can't you see? Oh, if Mother hadn't married Daddy, Daddy might have waited for me. Oh, if Mother hadn't married Daddy, Daddy might have married me. Any chance? Well, why not? As Bill Gaither always says, why not? You want to get something done? Why not do it? And so I I think I was okay with just being Daddy's sweetheart. And I was his favorite little girl. I had my sister was 12 years older than I was, and my brother was a year and a half. And I think I came as a surprise baby. But they loved me so much. I was about 4 months older than Shirley Temple. I had natural curly hair all over, and I could sing, but I couldn't tap dance like Shirley Temple did. But I did love to sing, and a lot of times with all my curls, people thought I did look like Shirley Temple those days. But anyway, life goes on. You have to do what you can do wherever you are. That's what you have to do. Fill the spot that you're in. Let's see. Oh, our pastor has been studying and preaching on angels. He had one part yesterday, and next Sunday they'll do, I think, the last session of angels. And my older children, my first 5, there was a few years in between there, and then finally came Winnie and the twins. But the first 5 used to like to sing together a lot. One of the older girls would play the piano, and they would sing some out of a little hymn book that we had, children's hymn book, a sing-along type of book. And then sometimes we'd go for picnics, church friends, and all that sort of thing. And have the girls sing for us, have the girls sing. And there was one they used to do. And it was, holy, holy is what the angels sing, and I expect to help them make the courts of heaven ring. But when I tell redemption's story, they will fold their wings, for angels never felt the joy that our salvation brings. And Pastor Randy spoke on that yesterday, and when he spoke to me after service, I said, I'm going to say a little bit about angels on Musical Mondays tomorrow. And so that's the thing. And he said they were assigned, God gave them the assignment to be an angel. And then they didn't receive the salvation. They were assigned to that position. And when anybody talked to them about salvation, they would fold their wings because they didn't know what that was. And my girls learned to do little things like that. So, we were always so glad that they could use their talents to a certain extent. And some of them are a little bit shyer than others, and that's okay. My Winnie, she's a greeter at the door when people, they leave the first service, and she shakes hands as they're going out. And then a little bit, the second service come in, and she shakes hands with those. So she's a greeter for both services, going in and coming out. And one day there was a child in school that was Winnie's same age, about 14 or so, and I said, my daughter is in your class. Do you know Winnie? She said, Winnie, I don't remember. I said, if you know Winnie, you know Winnie. There's no doubt. She's just an unusual little gal, and she still is, and she does hair for people. And she used to color my hair about every 6 weeks maybe. For years, every week I'd go to her and have her color my hair. And then I had a little spell with cancer, and then when I was on the cancer pill, she said, I can't color your hair anymore, Mom, it might fall out. I said, oh, I don't want it to fall out. But I adopted the little tams. I have quite an assortment of tams. And people say, we wondered what color tam you would wear today. And so just to sort of cover in the morning, it looks like Albert Einstein. It's out. It is flying. And so I got a tam and put it on the side like that. And it just gives me, I say the tam is my signature. Winnie did my hair on Saturday. And she said, that looks good, Mom. I said, well, I don't have to wear the tam. No, that's okay. You like your tam, go ahead and put your tam on. So people that see the church service, if I'm there, and watch it online sometimes, I saw you sitting down there because I saw your tam. And so I've had a good life with these little tams, and when it first started changing and turning white as a sheet, I said, I don't know that lady in the mirror. Who is that lady in the mirror? That looks like, no, it's not her. Well, maybe no, that's not her. I believe that lady is me. And then I found out my mouth was going just as I would speak. That was me speaking. I knew it was me. So I finally had to accept I couldn't say I was 29 going on 39. I couldn't say I was 39 going on 49. I finally had to say 94. Yes, there it is, staring me in the face. But see, I am so blessed. I sang in this choir many years. I was in Our Ladies Ensemble many years. I rang handbells sometimes. I had rung handbells in Gainesville, Florida. I became a handbell director. Loved it, loved it. We would always ring a number. They might not be a beautiful, difficult one. I wanted something that the people in the audience could recognize and maybe take a little bit home with them that day. That's why I put a few songs in today's program so that you might recognize and find yourself singing them. One of the hymns I remember my mother singing, praise him, Jesus our blessed Redeemer. Sing, O earth, his wonderful love proclaim. For praise and honor, sing of his mercy forever. Praise him, ever in joyful song. And she liked to sing little pithy ones like that. I never knew how she learned to play the piano like she did, but she was a dear lady. When she was 85, in 78, my father died at 81 in 1975. And 3 years later, my mother went completely blind. And the next Mother's Day would have been in 1979. She was living with us then because she was completely blind. Never knew night from day for her next 3 years. And I wrote this little song to dedicate to her called The King's Highway. I thank the Lord I had a Christian mother who knelt beside me every day in prayer. She lived a life that set me good examples and taught me God's love is everywhere. I must admit, I sometimes had my own way, and for my wrongs she didn't spare the rod. But she taught me that we must love one another, and most of all have true respect for God. My mother set me on the King's highway. His way was her way, and now it's my way. I thank the Lord above for his everlasting love as he guides me on the King's highway. I think one time when I sang, it might have been the first show that I did, and I did that in the choir room here. We had the pandemic. It was slowing down just a little bit, but I said to Braden, I can't sit next to you or across from you real close. I'm not allowed to be close to that. And I hate to have to wear a mask. So he said, that's okay. I'll be behind you, Mary. And then I said, I want to play this little song on the piano that I wrote for my mother. A very simple little, very like a music box accompaniment that I made. And I did that time. I think this is my 5th show with you. He came all the way to Whispering Willows, where Grace runs her bed and breakfast, and set up his camera that day, and then brought it back, put it on the air here, and he said he'd come again. And when he says, "My mother will be here on Mother's Day," he said, "Can't you do it the next day?" Yes, she would love to do it. And here we are. Are you happy? I want to be happy, but I can't be happy till I make you happy too. Life's really worth living when we are mirth-giving. Why can't I give some to you? When skies are gray and you say you are blue, I'll send the sun shining through. I want to be happy, but I can't be happy till I make you happy too. I did write a little song about happiness. And I used to do this with my auto harp when I used to play my auto harp a lot at the nursing homes. Let's see, happy song.
Can you do this little line of mine?
That one leaves me. I had it just a second ago. I had it going. Anyway, Happiness Road. I want to walk down Happiness Road. I want to talk on Happiness Road. Happiness Road for me is being with you. I want to sing some happiness songs. I want to smile some happiness smiles. Happiness Road may be short or many a mile. I want to walk down Happiness Road. I want to talk on Happiness Road. Happiness Road for me is being with you. I said Happiness Road for me is being with you. I don't think I ever sang that one for you. If I did, that's okay. It's so short, we'll just put it back in your memory bank. When I was teaching that little song, Sing Along to William, I said, William, we have a memory bank for things, and people go to the bank and put their money in the bank so that when they need it, they'll have that money to draw on. You are putting these songs in your memory bank. You see, how can I remember all these songs? And Mimi, Grand Mimi, is 94, and she knows a lot of songs because I sang them so many times. And when I was here, I would go to the hospitals, 5 days a week, different hospitals. I needed something to do, and I started getting busy doing it, and just loved it. I didn't use my auto harp then. I just walked around. And as I told people, I had a cookie cart some days and enjoyed doing that at Trident and Summerville Medical and Roper St. Francis. I even went downtown to Hollings Cancer Center for about 10 years. And I had a little cancer problem myself for a while. And then I was putting on a few years, and the sidewalks downtown are pretty hard to deal with. So I said, I have to give this one up. But I hope you might have read my 2 books. The first book was published in 2006. It's called Love's Remembered. It's my life story. It's my love story, the greatest love story. What is our love story? So I know I'm biased. And then in 2006, I said, well, that's all. We'll just go ahead and get it published. That's all I can write about. Since 2006, I have done so many things. I've taken many cruises to Alaska with the Gaithers, New England states with the Gaithers, to the Caribbean with Sandy Patty. And then she said, meet us. We were back up about 200 voices, a backup choir for some special singers there. Then she said, meet me in New York in 2015, and we'll sing at Carnegie Hall. I said to Grace, we have to do that, Grace. We have to. And we did. And we saw a few shows on the side. And then we did sing our nice concert. And the director, before we started the show that night, our director said, has anybody had any aha moments in New York? And a couple of lady students said a little bit, but not anything you would remember. And I said, I've had some aha moments. And I had that little piece of paper in my pocket. I got it out, and I said, I've had some aha. He said, well, tell us about them. So I stood up. Now, let me tell you, we had 450 singers on the stage for this choir. Well, I stood up, and every now and then I do something rather brave, and that was brave and bold. I said, I wrote my own version of New York, New York. You want to hear it? He said, sing it. Now, what could he say? He opened the door, and I put my foot right in it. And I turned around, and I said, now, I wonder if I can project strong enough for them to hear me. Then he handed me the mic, and the mic does the work for you. And this is my little song. Start spreading the news. We're leaving today. We've done our very best in New York, USA. We wandered around and did up the town, right through the very heart of it, without a frown. We saw the new Les Mis, the Rockettes, the hop-on, hop-off bus. We sang at Carnegie Hall. Aren't you happy for us? But we really must go. As we walk away slow, we'll turn and wave goodbye with smiles on our faces. We'll never forget you sopranos, altos, tenors, and basses. Thanks to Sandy Patty, Verita, Reggie Stone, and Marcia for letting us blend our voices under Phil Barfoot. And okay, finishing up. Have we got any more at all?
Hold on one second, because this isn't live, we can resume in a second.
Oh, okay.
It just cut out on us.
I don't know what is happening. Oh, the computer went. I'm gonna
Okay.
kill that thing.
Okay, you're back.
This is what I want to do for this prayer. Recently, I was watching one of the talent shows, American Idol, I think it was, and one week they had 2 people that had to sing together, a duet together one night. They put them together. Everybody had somebody else to do a duet with. And this one couple sang the prayer. And I said, oh my, you can't beat the prayer. I think I'll do that for my friends in Summerville. I pray you'll be our eyes and watch us where we go and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe. I pray we'll find your light and hold it in our hearts. When stars go out each night, remind us of your love. Let this be our prayer when shadows fill our day. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be safe. A place where pain and sorrow will be ended, and every heart that's broken will be mended. And we'll remember we are all God's children, reaching out to touch you, reaching to the skies. We ask that life be kind and watch us from above. We hope each soul will find another soul to love. Let this be our prayer when we need our grace. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be safe. Be safe. Safe travels everywhere you go, folks. And I hope I can come back and see you again. If I don't, if you're able to find not only my book, Love's Remembered, in the library downstairs, I wrote a second one, and I called it Life is a Song. Isn't that me? Life is a song. And I have the words to that song I just sang here. I have another little song that I wrote. It's called The Room Upstairs. And this is where we are right now, aren't we, Braden? We're in the room upstairs here.
That's
But
right.
there's
We're in the
another,
upper room right
there's
now.
another bigger room way up high there. I told William that one day, Granny Grace and Papa Bob are going to have their 50th anniversary. In 5 more years, Mimi will have her 100th birthday. And then I may have to someday move to the room upstairs. He says, well, are you going to be way up high, over the rainbow? You're going to be above the clouds, above the clouds. And I just won't be back here with you anymore. He said, well, I'm going to be sad if you're not here, Mimi. I said, no, you don't think of it that way. No, you think, now, Mimi and I used to sing together, and she'd go to my ball games, and she'd see me playing ball in the yard. That's what you want to remember, not the fact that I can't do those things anymore with you. But bless your heart. I love you all, and have a blessed day. And I think I did have one. I'm so glad we had this time together, just to laugh a bit and sing a song. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. That's one Carol Burnett used to sing it. Her husband wrote that little song to finish her shows. I'm done. I'm on my way back to Ridgeway, to Whispering Willows. Thank you again.
We all love Mary, and I know she's had a super impact on your life. I hope that you put some comments as this video was playing, because I know the family's going to enjoy hearing your thoughts and your comments about how she impacted your life. Mm-hmm. And that we have some information a little bit about the service as well, Braden.
That's right. Tomorrow, Tuesday, October 18th, the service will be at 2 o'clock here in the Worship Center, 1 o'clock if you'd like to visit with the family. There will be no graveside, but we encourage you to come and just get to fellowship with the family and friends of this amazing lady. So thank you for watching today, and we tribute this Musical Monday to Miss Mary Kunsman.
Mary, we love you.